of either sex has ever won the National Hot Rod Association's Top Fuel World Championship 3 times. In a way of introduction, here's a clip of Shirley doing what she does for a living. Watch the monitors. Would you welcome, please, Shirley Muldowney. It's a remarkable, as many times as I have seen you race, every time I see one of those drag races, it's frightening. The speeds you reach from a dead standing start.
Well, from a dead stop through 1,320 feet, we travel about 260 miles an hour.
In about, what, less than 6 seconds, right?
About 5.5 seconds. If you run a 6-second run, you're driving a lemon.
That's a lemon.
Oh, yes.
Now, this was outside of Montreal about a year and a half ago. You're still showing the results of what happened, and you always drive the pink Roadster,
the pink
right?
car is an image.
Was going about, what, 250
just under
miles
250.
An hour, and it just
well, I had
disintegrated.
A front tire problem, and the tube took a hold of the steering, and at 250, the car disintegrated when it impacted into an embankment.
And there's just nothing.
We don't really know
moment.
what happened,
yeah.
But the cage, people think the cage is what's over your head.
Right.
Well, it consists of what's in front of the driver's feet.
Right.
And it broke off at my hips. So I continued on for about 600 feet.
Whew.
And
the extent of your injuries, you broke your pelvis. I hate to go over
all
this
the good stuff.
All the good things, your legs, all the good things. Your legs and
compound fractures of the right leg, both ankles. I lost a thumb, which they put back on.
Is there a moment, and this you maybe don't even recall it, was there a moment when that happens and you realize that it's out of control and there's really nothing you can do, where anything at all flashes through your mind, or you just think at that moment, that's it?
Well, I knew it was the big one, Johnny.
Yeah.
I had a ringside seat, and I just thought in my mind, I'm in a good car, I'll ride it out. And I'd been around for about 20 years and had never been on my head.
Right.
So I thought that, I was very lucky. And I was very lucky to come out of it. I'm lucky to be alive because of the paramedics and the doctors in Montreal and the doctors in Indianapolis. In fact, the Indy 500 doctor worked on me, brought me back, and made it possible for me to drive again.
And you have driven since then, haven't you? Even with the
oh, yes.
with the little leg that's still causing you some problems.
Modification with the new car, but I went out at the Winter Nationals, the NHRA, National Hot Rod Association, opener, which is held at the Pomona Fairgrounds.
Right.
And they knew I was back. I qualified number 2 with a 5.47 elapsed time.
Right.
Mile an hour was down just a little bit. We only ran 252.
252 miles an hour.
Yeah, so that, the crowd will look at 252 and go, they want to see 260, 265.
Right. A timeless question that people ask racing drivers, and I guess people who flirt with their life every time they go out. Some people said it's a death wish. I don't really believe that.
No.
I suppose as a professional, you want to really test the limits of yourself and the car and see how close to the edge you can really do it.
We are on the edge because we race a competitor, of course, but we're racing the clock.
Right.
And who gets there first comes back for the second round. And I have lost by 2 1,000ths of a second. And the difference between, we'll say, number 1 and 2 qualifiers can be just so...
Milliseconds almost.
That's it. And we have a timing system called a Crontac system that it doesn't lie. It's very unforgiving. And then they also have a reaction timer on the starting line that tells everyone and God how slow you were on the lights. And you have to live that down in the pits.
Now, many drivers, I've talked with some of the drivers who race, say, Indy, and they think the speeds are becoming excessive. You know, and now over 200 miles an hour on that track, and they figure that if something does happen, that they're reaching the limits of where they have to almost pull the power of the cars down. Is there any limit on these cars?
They have. Because of my accident, they stepped up the standards. The cars are now, the weight limit is 1,800 pounds, rather it was 1,700, and they beefed up the driver's compartment. But the technology, everything that has gone into making the car safer. The NHRA, they're the first ones to step up, and, well, they were the first ones to accept women on an equal basis.
Let me ask you that. You are in a predominantly male sport.
It is a male sport.
Yeah. Were you accepted when you got into this racket at all? The men say, wait a minute, we don't need women out here on the track.
Well, they didn't say quite that. I can't repeat what they said.
Well, I was trying to phrase that very kindly myself, but...
Well, what they said, something like, gee, let's not pay any attention, or let's not think about this, and the problem will go away. Well, it didn't. It got worse. I went to my first drag race in 1958, and I saw a guy named Big Daddy Don Garlis.
Oh, yeah.
And at that time, he was my idol. In fact, he's still my idol. But when I saw him drive a top fuel dragster, I knew what I wanted to do.
They have great names, don't they? Wasn't there one called Don the Snake Prudhomme?
You bet. Great drag racer.
Yeah.
Tom the Mongoose McEwen.
Yeah.
But nicknames have always been synonymous with the sport of drag racing, and I had one years ago that I'm not crazy about.
Can you tell us? Cha-Cha.
Sure. Did I have to tell you?
Yes, I remember. Cha-Cha, wasn't it?
Sure. Well, it was shorter than Shirley Muldowney, and it didn't take up much.
Here comes Cha-Cha. That doesn't sound quite... Shirley is nice.
No.
You're accepted now, of course.
I would like to think so.
I would think so.
We have a race coming up in Gainesville, Florida in a couple weeks, and depending on how well I do, let's see how
I'll tell you what, we have a practice session for you tonight.
I heard about it.
I asked you about this, but we asked you because we want to make sure you do this. We have set up out in the hallways of this great network a little drag strip of our own. And we've got a couple of these carts they use. I guess you'd call them golf carts that people use and so forth. May I race with you?
I have a feeling they souped your...
We did not soup the car up. I'll give you your choice of cars.
All right.
We would never resort to such such a crummy, underhanded trick as to underpower your vehicle. I'll give you the choice. Fair enough?
One condition.
Sure.
If I can lure you one day to come to a national event, we have the World Finals at Pomona in October, and I'd like to set you in my car and fire. Oh, you'll fit fine. You're
But
perfect.
you don't expect me to drive that.
No, I won't expect you to drive it, but what we'll do is we'll unhook the motor from the rear wheels, but we'll start it up and have you sit on top of 3,000 horsepower and see how you like it.
That's got to be quite a thrill.
It is. It's an awesome feeling.
Well, this won't be quite as awesome out here, but...
For us, it's awesome.
So when we come back, I'll let the studio audience know we're going to go into the hall and get into our... Ed's going to come out and be the starter, and I think Tommy's going to be the flag man at the finish, and we'll race down the halls of NBC. All right?
You're on.
Well, we're on. We'll be right back for that exciting race. That's right. I notice, Shirley, occasionally when the racers, they have logos, which I understand they get some kind of compensation.
Little advertising.
I'm picking up a couple of bucks. Now, we're out here at NBC's drag strip, and this is the same place late at night where you'll find Pat Sajak cruising for Vanna White coming down here. We have about, how far would you say that down to where Tommy is?
I don't know. It's about
50 yards, maybe, something like that. And we have two fine vehicles here. These are cars that are electric carts that are actually used right here at NBC. This is our audience back here.
Look at the crowd.
Look at the crowd back here. Same crowd that watched the monologue last night are sitting back here. Or I might say tonight, as a matter of fact. And Ed is going to be the official starter.
Yes. Get in your cars, please.
few rules.
Few rules,
In
all right.
drag racing, if you touch the yellow line, you're out.
So we have to stay on...
You have to stay in your lane.
All right.
You can't get into traffic.
I cannot encroach on your lane.
That's right.
Okay.
And you don't red light, Johnny.
And don't red light, okay?
Would you get in your machines, please?
Certainly. Here we are in
Race is
our
about
machine.
to begin.
24 more payments, I own this baby.
All right.
Just make sure the...
Lady and gentlemen,
Yes.
would you please start your engines?
All right, the engines are all ready to go.
Ready, set, Wait a minute, hold it, wait, what is this?
All right, okay.
I think they caught that.
I'm sorry. That's a foul, right?
Give you another chance now.
foul.
It's ready, set, and then go. It's like dialing, remember dialing
That has
1818.
been the problem all my life is premature acceleration. And that's all it is a little anxiety attack.
Are you ready for the race?
I'm ready.
Ready?
Ready, set, go!
Oh,
Oh, come on!
oh, come on. I'm coasting to a finish. Oh, you got to like... Come on.
I'm impressed.
Well, come on. And here to present the winner is our judge, Mr. Thomas Newsom, Miss Muldowney.
I know who you are.
Is it official?
Yes, sir.
I did win.
It's a tie.
Just to make abs...
You won.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's a tie? I was a 4-point. Let's show we have a freeze frame photo finish here. Does that look like a tie to you?
You're right.
This is very good champagne, but do I get to shake it?
Shake it up and open it?
No.
No, that's all right. That's what you normally do. You hold
Okay.
that, and it's kind of a victory thing, and they open it up. It figures you've been holding this too long. Okay, Whoopi, thank you.
Thank you.
I think you give me a handicap. And we'll be back in a moment. Another victory here in Victory Lane.